Good morning, folks. My name is Dustin Jones. This is my wife,
Megan Jones,
and you are listening to the PT on Ice Daily Show, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence. It is 4:50 in the morning at San Jose Airport. We're flying back to Kentucky. We had an awesome weekend at the CrossFit MD L1 weekend certification. She actually took it. I was tagging along looking at some other stuff. But today, you're watching this on Wednesday. It's 8:30. You know what happens at 8:30?
PT on Ice.
Well, PT on Ice, but also Jeff Moore sends out a weekly email called Hump Day Hustle. So if y'all aren't on that, it's 5 very quick, helpful links, social media posts, research articles, stuff that the faculty found helpful for their work. He sends it out 8:30 a.m. every Wednesday. PTOnice.com, go to the bottom, sign up, and you'll be able to get that. So that's the first thing I'm going to do when we get done with this. Let's check that email. So this weekend, we went to Santa Cruz. I'll just give thoughts on what I did, and then we'll get into the MD01. So I went to hang out with Michelle Moots. So Michelle Moots is a physical therapist and a CrossFit trainer. She's been teaching the different types of seminars for a long time. She's an OG is what I heard is kind of the terminology, because she's been around for a while. But she's an amazing PT, and she's leading their older adult program. So every day of the week at CrossFit headquarters, they have a gym, and the gym, the main goal for that gym is to get people from the community in there, and in particularly underserved populations. So you've got older adults, you've got people that are morbidly obese, people that have type 2 diabetes, some of these chronic metabolic conditions are coming to CrossFit headquarters to work out. And so we went early, and I came on Friday to hang out with her, and it was awesome. She was getting in later that evening, so Katie Hogan was teaching those courses or the classes, and it was really cool to see, because you had people that you wouldn't expect in a typical CrossFit box, let alone CrossFit headquarters, coming in and working out. And so the workout that they did on Friday was actually 20.1, the open workout, which a lot of us have suffered through. You did well.
I finished.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the whole thing.
The best, we had a 15-minute AMRAP is what we had. The best part was Katie was describing the workout, 20.1, and no one knew what that meant, what the open was, what the CrossFit Games, like what was that? And there was this one woman that was pretty inquisitive. Said, so the CrossFit Games, it's kind of like the Olympics for CrossFit. And Katie Hogan was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And the woman continues to go on to, so it's like a Special Olympics. And Katie said, kinda, that's already taken, but a little different. But they did 20.1. There's 15 people, all of them were 65 and up, and I think there were probably 15 variations of 20.1. So that was just really cool to see, and how they engineered that gym in terms of how it's set up, in terms of what's the decor, in terms of what's kind of taped up on the walls, are geared toward these underserved populations. I mean, they had a newspaper clipping of like falls rates in that part of the area that they put up there to be able to talk to with these folks. So it was cool to see how they were doing that, and how much of CrossFit headquarters is shifting to serve older adults in the underserved population. This is not just some change of a website and a change of a media strategy, in January 1, which we've covered a decent amount on the PT on Ice podcast. This is literally an organizational shift to really highlight, and not just mention, but actually highlight how they can help older adults and just kind of underserved populations, which was really cool. So that was Friday. Then we get into Saturday. So the MDL1, how was that? What were your thoughts?
It was awesome. So CrossFit took their regular L1 certification that anyone can take, but they decided they're going to offer it to a group of physicians, MDs, DOs, and here at CrossFit headquarters in Santa Cruz. So the exact same material they're delivering to anyone taking the L1. It's just you're sitting there with all physicians. So it was pretty awesome to be in a space where physicians are really looking at ways that they can improve the health of their patient populations, but from a more preventative, simple standpoint. They're trying to learn, like, how do I just get my patient moving and eating a little better, versus being at a conference where you're finding out, like, what's the newest antibiotic and medication for high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So it was really cool to meet other people trying to figure out simpler ways to improve the health of their patients.
So was it encouraging to be around folks like that? Just because that's not the norm in
Right.
your world, for sure.
Yeah, it's really encouraging, and even more so, I think, because it was a diverse, like, age population. It wasn't just 30-year-olds that are the typical, like, CrossFit demographic you'll often see, that are like, how can we, fix our patients? Like, everybody just had a residency, but you had, many, like different generations of physicians, which was super encouraging, that it's not just like, well, we'll just wait for the young people to do it.
Yeah, and everyone kept their shirt on too. So,
It did.
Yeah, it was odd. So yeah, that went down, and then we also, so Saturday night, you all are going to see this. Julie Foucher, she is a 30-year resident and a CrossFit coach. She teaches a lot of the level 1 seminars and MDL1 as well. She's a pretty well-known games athlete as well. But we both of us interviewed Michelle, so you all are going to see that podcast. And the whole point of that podcast was, how do we bridge the gap from the hospital to the gym, and different ways that we can think about that, and in particular speaking to the coaches and potentially the box owners, of how we can create spaces that are welcoming for these underserved populations. And so that was Saturday. Then Sunday comes around, and on Sunday there's this DDC going on at the same time. So tell us about that and kind of what that entails, and just some of the folks that go there.
Yeah, so they kind of combine this weekend with almost like an alumni event. So once you finish your MD L1, you're invited into this kind of alumni organization, the Derelict Doctors Club, that will meet during these seminars, and they bring in just researchers in nutrition and in healthcare, almost as like, a continuing ed, but just kind of a further, like, meeting of the minds and seeing what people are doing and keeping people healthy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were having breakfast Sunday morning, and this gentleman just sits down beside us and starts talking, and it's Dr. Robert Lustig, and he's just a big name in kind of the research world in terms of really criminalizing sugar and soda taxes and all this stuff. He's a pretty interesting character. But yeah, just like had a 10-minute conversation with him, just randomly, which that's someone I typically would not come across in my normal life, for sure.
Yeah.
So Sunday concluded, and then they finished the day with a party. I mean, we had like a mariachi band, full open bar. Tacos were awesome. But what was cool there for both of us, we were just sitting around, talking to some people, and we met this one individual, this one gentleman. His name's Brian, and we just started to talk about what we did, and just kind of the interest in older adults, and wanting to potentially start like an older adult focused program back where we go. And he immediately stops eating his meal. I mean, he was like 3 bites into a taco, and just puts it down and says, you need to meet someone, and takes us around to all these different people associated with kind of the CrossFit bigger organization, saying, hey, these guys want to duplicate what we're doing here. They have a strong interest in older adults, and that was seen as an asset that they cared about. And he wanted to connect us with all these different people. I was shocked, because I would think even in that sphere, having an interest to better serve older adults would still kind of be seen not as like a top priority for them, but just kind of one of the things that they're working on kind of on the fringes. But it's like front and center, which is pretty cool.
I think they seemed more impressed with the interest in older adults and special populations than if we knew who won the most recent CrossFit Games.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. which I know like there's a lot of people that are kind of upset about that, but from my standpoint, probably yours too, like to have that type of organization and that type of stimulus that we talk a lot about here on this podcast, to have it, that culture shift to really serve older adults well, makes me super excited. So I think all in all, it was an awesome weekend. Met some really cool people, and it really makes you feel like you're not on an island, especially for the physician, that you do have some people that, you know, are as crazy as you are, in a way.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, if y'all have any questions about the MDL1, you know, leave a comment in the Facebook post or the Instagram post. If you're on the podcast, you can, you know, shoot Alan an email. He's great at forwarding them to appropriate people. Megan can answer any questions. They're not going to do a PT when I ask that question. Every PT wants their own, you know, CrossFit certification. But that is a question that I asked Julie and Michelle in the podcast. You'll hear their response. Have a good weekend, and yeah, I think that's all. Okay. All right, so remember, it's Wednesday. It's, probably 8:42 at the moment. So Jeff Moore's email should be in many of your all's email inbox at the moment. If it's not, ptonice.com, go to the bottom, Hump Day Hustle, put your name in your email, and you will not regret it. Otherwise, I'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
I'll see you sometime.
All right.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.